Okay, there we go. All right, welcome back, everybody, to Coffee and Art in the Morning. So I have been requested to talk or to do some color booking today. So I will do that, but however, I do have to show some happy mail. Well, Hubster brought it back from LA. Does that count? He went on he and my grandson every year go out to visit my other daughter and son-in-law and grandson that live in LA. And my grandson out there is 6, and my grandson that lives here is 16, and then who is Cam, and that's Boo's big brother. Boo is my granddaughter here, who is going to be 13. And so anyway, every year Hubster, and which is my grandson's grandfather, they have a grandson grandfather trip to LA every year, and to go visit Annie and the family out in LA. So they went out there they got back yesterday. They were gone for 4 days, and I got all kinds of stuff, goodies brought back to me from some of the places that they went. So if you want to see, if you're watching the recording, this is a live show, live Ustream with live people. So I'm going to spend probably about 15 minutes showing some happy mail and talking a little bit about that. So if you want to get right to the color book part, just fast forward the video to that section. I did have an email and a request on YouTube for someone to re-show the finished Star Wars pumpkin that we did. There's 3 parts of this. Now, Ustream was messing up last Saturday when I did this. And there's 3 parts, and not every bit of the process was recorded because we had some Ustream issues. But I think everybody saw enough of it to see how it was. Hey, Whippy. I think enough of it was done that you saw how I did it. So I'm not going to talk about the process or anything. I'm just going to show it. We ended up with Star Wars bits from a small calendar and cut out different bits, and I have half varnished it. And so when this varnish is completely dry and set up, I'll turn it upside down and finish varnishing the bottom. Hubster wants to take this to work tomorrow to show some of our Dragon Con fan people there this. So he's going to take it to work tomorrow, and I told him he could just have it until it, because it's a real pumpkin, and it's not going to last, even varnished, it's not going to last forever. But I just going to kind of show around it. I painted the stars halfway up the stem, and this little bit with the flamingo, with Darth Vader choking the flamingo, is a private joke with Eileen. It's really not private, but I mean, it's one of the people here in the show, one of my mods, Eileen, which I don't know, did she ever get modded? I don't know, yeah, there she is. It's because she doesn't like flamingos. So we had Darth Vader putting a chokehold on the flamingo, and so you can kind of see the whole thing there. Got some spiders from some napkins and some spider webs. And again, it's a little shiny because we did varnish it. So there is the pumpkin that we turned into a Star Wars pumpkin. I have lots of pictures on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So on Twitter and Instagram, I'm InkyWell, INKIWELL. So I'm InkyWell on Facebook, on Twitter and Instagram, and Dee Dee Willingham on Facebook. All my artwork is public on Facebook, so you don't have to follow me, and I don't have to follow you to go if you want to see my artwork, my Inktober, my color book album. I have a whole album on color books and the things I've colored and done with color books, and also my Gold Rush crew drawings. They're all public, so you can see them all. So there's the pumpkin. I'm going to finish varnishing that up for Hubster. And now let me just show you a couple other things here. I will show you the color book. I did get one color book and a sticker book over the weekend. But I forgot to show you this last, I think it was when Cam came down here before they went to LA. He came here and spent the night one night, and he brought me these that he found at a garage sale, and he bought them for me. They are vintage from the 1960s round puzzles. We have no way of knowing if all the pieces are in there, of course, unless we put it together. But he thought the boxes were so awesome, he knew I would love these. So they're about 1 inch deep, and it says Offering of the Coral Plants to the Emperor. That's the name of this one. From the Metropolitan Museum of Art. I think it's 1960. Hang on, I got to get my magnifying glass. Oh, where is it? I think it's down here. My trifocals can't even handle this. Copyright 1965. So 1965 from MoMA. And it's circular jigsaw puzzle to 20 and a quarter inches in diameter. The box is 14 and a quarter in diameter. More than 500 pieces. Isn't that awesome? He found these at a yard sale for 50 cents each. And he snagged them for his Nana. So they're both from MoMA. And yeah, isn't that awesome? I'll just show you some. See, again, I don't know that they're all there, but just smell. They smell like grandma. You know, they smell like, you know, kind of musty. You know how that kind of musty smell. Anyway, love you, Grandma. So anyway, that's what it kind of reminds me of. So I thought those were awesome. I know, right? Your birthday, your birth year, Shabs. Yay, Cam. I know, right? Yay, Cam. Okay, so, and then really quick, speaking of Cam and my other grandson, Logan, when they went out to, and it's probably going to, again, probably flash my camera. I'll try to get it back. I did post this on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I posted this everywhere, I think. But they, when they were out there in LA, they went to the Getty Museum, and I have a couple different pictures. Let me turn it this way. You can see if I can get it. They went to the sketch room. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, come on back. I didn't lock it in. There they are. There's Cam. He's 16. There's Logan. He's closer. He's 6, but he looks bigger because he's closer to the camera. But anyway, that's in the sketch room at the J. Paul Getty Museum in LA. And they said they could not hardly get Cameron out of there. He did not want to leave. He wanted to stay there and sketch all day. And I think, and I'll take some kudos on this, or Nana bragging rights on this. He's not afraid to draw in public because I started taking him out in public and making him draw in public. We'd go to the museum, we'd go to the aquarium, you know, any place that we would carry a sketchbook. And at first he was going, I don't want anyone to see me drawing, Nana. This was when he was probably 12, maybe 11. And I said, you got to get over the fear of having anybody see you draw in public. Well, as soon as he started drawing, people were commenting and complimenting, and he got over the fear real quick. Well, now that he went to the sketch room at the museum in LA, Logan, who is 6, was not afraid to draw in public because his cousin, his big cousin, who he looks up to, was drawing in public. So he wasn't afraid to draw in public either. So now they, you know, so they're not afraid to draw in public, which I think is awesome. So make sure you take your younger kids out and get them to draw in public if they have any kind of inkling of any kind of, you know, interest in art at all, so that they're not afraid to draw in public. Which one lives? Cam and Boo live near me, the 16-year-old grandson, and Boo, they've been on the show here with Denise, the one that cracks the whip on, you know, making me keep my hoarding down. It's not really, guys. I mean, you know, it's just I've been in this studio room for 15 years, and so she just got, you know, she made me like really do a sort out, as they say in UK. And so that's the mama. Denise is my daughter with Boo and Cam here in Georgia. And Annie and Dan have Logan, who is 6, out in LA. So, yeah. But anyway, okay, welcome back, Pack or Die. So that was, yeah, my puzzles from Cam, and that was their, I have all kinds of pictures of them. When I print some of the pictures out, I can probably show them to you better, because it just flashes out the camera when I try to do it here. And I'm probably going to have to refocus and everything when I want to zoom in to do color booking. Okay, so real quick, then last week I also showed you, and last Saturday I did show that I did get these. These are the 2 books that I got over the, I try to only get 1 color book a week. That's my, like, my limit on myself is try to only get 1 color book a week. Now, I don't know, when more, like when all of them come out in a big wad, the Harry Potter one and the Outlander and the Game of Thrones, when I see those in the bookstore, it's going to be hard not to get all 3 of them at once, but I'm going to try to, try to limit myself to 1 a week. This was in the kids clearance section for $3.97 regularly. I think we said it was $12.99. $12.99 normally. And I got it in the kids clearance section for $3.97. And I gotta say, the main reason I got this, I know Jean's not here. I think she stayed up late last night. Oh, well, we got to maybe get together sometime, Ella. Oh, Annie's close to you. Oh, okay. Well, Annie doesn't art or anything like that. She's an RN. And so they have very big, busy schedules. And Dan's a social worker. So they are very, very, very busy. Anyway, I thought you might have lived close to me, Ella. And I was going to have you come over here and we would do a stream together. Anyway, so when I saw this, I loved it. So cute, but it also made me think of Jean. So on one of the pages that had and I'm going to send Jean some of these stickers. It's all stickers. It's sticker books. But Splat the Cat is just so cute. And they remind me of Jean, Sassy Pants. Jean's 2 furry Persian cats called Preston and Paws. And, yeah, I got this at Books A Million. I know you can get it online as well. But this was not the color book section. This was in the art and drawing section, which now has right above it tons of color books. But this was not in the actual color book section. Look in the what do you call it? Drawing section for this. So anyway, I did this for Jean. Jean's a music teacher, school teacher. So I did this and I couldn't resist. So there's Jean. I said, good morning. My name is Miss Jean. Sassy Pants. That's what we call her. And that's a whole nother story why we call her Sassy Pants. I'm not going to get onto that in recording, but anyway. But these look like her cats. So I'm going to pull some of this stuff out and send it to Jean. And they're just, look how cute they are. Look how cute. I love it. And it's all stickers. All these are stickers. And they're just all doing all kinds of stuff. And they got all kinds of little birds and stickers. I mean, stickers of birds. And all kinds of cute little cats. And all kinds of things. I mean, you're supposed to, I guess, make scenes, the furniture and peel them off and put them in the scenery. But anyway, so they just reminded me, I should come out and visit. I know they always want me to. I know I try to, I know, Ella. So there, I got that, and then the color manga. And I can't show you every page. Now, if y'all know manga, some of the girls are voluptuous. Sometimes they show a little cleavage. And they're, So I kind of want to be careful on showing some of the pictures. But they also show you how to draw them. So it's a color book and manga drawing tutorials all in one. I'm holding it back and then I'll pull them up here to show you. So you see they have show how to draw, and then they have some to color. But they're all different kinds, and they're all awesome. And, Cam loves to draw and loves to color manga. I might have to give him some of these. Okay, can't show that one. Can't show that one. There's a couple in here that, they have all kinds of, some monsters and... just all different kinds of characters, how to draw them, heroes, all kinds of different characters, guys, girls, all different ones. So anyway, color manga, and it was $14.99. Of course, I get discounts. You know, I'm members of Books A Million, Barnes and Noble, all that, and you know they have coupons. In November, they'll both of the stores have all kinds of promos for joining. You know, getting in their club or whatever you call. You know, get their card to get a year-long discount of 10%. But they always have promos to get you to join that, where you get a 20%, 25% off. You get there's all kinds of things like that. So. Orla says, points to you also as you got drawing. You have, oh, okay, so Orla's got her grandkids into sketching. Now also, guys, I know that I buy a color book every week and have a whole bunch of that I've collected, like in the different Dover, clip art type color books for years and that. Believe me, if you want to color manga or anything else, you can find blank pages online. Okay? You can find blank pages of any topic, any subject. You can find blank color book pages online for free to print out. If you want to color them and cut them out to put in art journals, I would recommend doing it just on copy paper. Plain old thin copy paper. And that way you can cut them out and glue them in other things. If you want to just keep the page that you color, print it out on cardstock. Okay? Yeah, that's great, Orla. I do, Blondie, because I buy a lot of books. If you buy a lot of books, if you buy more than, say, $50 worth of books a year, it's worth it to join and get the extra 10% off, because you get other yearly coupons emailed to you. If you're a member, you'll get, and sometimes I just send them to everybody as well. But if you're a member of BAM, Books A Million, or Barnes & Noble, you will get coupons emailed to you for 40% off a couple times a year, 25% off a total purchase once or twice a year. So it is worth it to me to join both. I'm a member of both Books A Million and Barnes & Noble, because I buy a lot of books, not just art books and color books, but other books as well. Now, if you guys buy on Amazon, let me see if I got her number right here somewhere. If you do buy on Amazon, please use Journal Artista's A-store number. Paula does not see your purchases or anything like that, but she will get a few cents off of every book. They don't make it more expensive for you. Just saying. Let me see. I'm trying to find Paula's number here. You can she'll get a few cents off of every purchase. Paula, can you put your number in again? If I can't find her, Paula stepped out. If you go to Journal Artista, A-store, or go to Paula's website, Journal Artista, you'll find her A-store number. I have it written down. I've got tons of Post-it notes here, and I'm just not putting my hand right on it. Okay, but she will get some credit for it, or get some, a couple pennies off of every purchase. And that's not just books. That's anything you buy on Amazon. So Paula took the time, Journal Artista took the time to set up an A-store where if you buy anything, okay, here it is. It's the A-store, Amazon.com/journal 038. Let me write it down again, and I'll put it up here. It's at the A-store, which is the Amazon store, and it's Journal Artista, Journal 038-20. So put that in, and then Paula will get a couple of cents off of everything you buy. And that's for, so just, it only takes a second to do that, and it helps another fellow artist, okay, who is very generous with her time as well, doing free Ustreams. I mean, all of us Ustreamers, we're doing this for free. So, that's just a little bit extra support for our Paula. Okay, so those are the two books that I bought over the weekend, and I bought a pack of some white gel pens, a couple new black Prismacolors. I didn't, that's pretty much, I mean, that may sound like a lot to a lot of people. You got to remember, guys, not that I have to make any excuses for anything, but, this is what I do. I do this full time. I do it all day, and I try to share with you guys, and yeah. All right, so there's that. Okay, so let me show, before I get into the color books here that we'll do some sample coloring in today. I'm working in the Anamorphia, and I'm working in Doodler's Anonymous Epic Color Book. Both of these I got at Books A Million, and they have, believe me, if you haven't seen my Twitter and Facebook, I have an album with just all color book stuff, and I post pictures of color book sections. I mean, my Books A Million last week had 3 full out, blown out sections of color books. And that wasn't even including the kids section or anything like that. So we'll color in these two. Paula says she buys so many books that in a few years, Chapters gave her a lifetime membership. I know. Yeah, so y'all bookmark it. Yeah, bookmark it. And Paula also does have on our A-Store recommendations broken up by topic. So if you want to see some of Paula's recommendations for art books and color books and all kinds of books, she does have that on her site as well. Okay, so now let me kind of show you a little bit of some of the goodies that Hubster and Cam brought back to me from LA. Then we'll do a little color book. And if you're watching the recording, you don't want to see all this, just fast forward it. So they brought me back, first off, from, this was so awesome, from the J. Paul Getty Museum, this awesome cup that looks like a compass rose. And look inside. I haven't used it yet because I wanted to show it to you guys. Last year, they brought me back Warner Brothers. So this time they got me this one from the museum, and this is the exhibit that's going on now. Let's see if I can hold it. This is the exhibit that's going on. And so I'm not sure if this is like one of the tile floors or something from this era that they've uncovered. I don't know. I haven't read it all up yet. I just got this stuff last night. So, and Cam, that's what he was drawing, one of these plaster cast. He was drawing from one of those. So they brought me that, and then they got me the J. Paul Getty Museum Handbook of Collection. This thing is so heavy, and it smells awesome. Take a sniff. Everybody sniff. Can you sniff it? Doesn't it smell awesome? But anyway, the Getty Villa, and I'm not sure which section they were in that had here's the picture of the full thing. But there's like, I don't know how many buildings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, I guess there's maybe about 10, 12 different buildings. And Hubster said that if I came out there with Cam sometime, that they would just drop us off at the museum and come get us at night. Okay, bye, Trina. Thank you. So they would just drop us off. Look, they have a garden, a maze garden, and I mean, they actually took pictures of that they have phone pictures of that they gave me. But anyway, so there's the whole, I mean, it's huge, huge. And I think they only went to 2 buildings out of the, I don't know how many there are. I haven't read this yet. But anyway, it's awesome. How awesome is that? And I got to be careful flipping through because, there's statues that are naked and stuff like that. And Ustream doesn't allow any nudity, even art nudity. But anyway, so they brought me back this awesome book. I think they said they went to Daiso and it was closed. So they went to some other Japanese, I think it was a Japanese, I think it was a combo restaurant and healer. I think it was a combination of a restaurant and a healing place. Oh, wait, before I do that, here's the bag from the Getty Museum. This is the gift bag. Look how awesome is that? Look, I love it because it's got a bee on it. It's a beautiful bag. And then I've got all the brochures and the receipts and all that in here as well. I'm not going to show you all that, but yeah, so that was awesome. I'm not sure if this is like from Pompeii. This just some reason reminds me. This looks like from Pompeii. I don't know. I haven't read it yet. Okay. Then they went to the Beverly Hills Hotel and had $30 hamburgers. Annie bought. Hubster said Annie bought them lunch. So anyway, this was the takeout box. This is the takeout box from the Beverly Hills Hotel, this was just awesome. You know, I mean, I love this kind of stuff. We all love a faux ephemera, right? Okay, so this was the Japanese store. This is the bag. Look, it's a big gift bag. Look, awesome. I'm going to have to make a journal out of this. Have to make a journal out of this. Look at that little splot of ink there. That's printed. That's printed on the bag. Okay. So I love this big calligraphy swoosh. I have no idea what it says, but it came with the healing room. Where we practice the art of healing, but it was like at a restaurant. It was like a restaurant too. And then this was some of the gift wrap. I mean, the paper that they wrap their gifts in. And Hubster got me a couple sheets. How many sheets did he get? 2. He got me 2 sheets of this. I have no idea what it says, but look how awesome this is. It's tiny. I mean, the tiniest little, all that's writing. All this is writing. And I have no idea what it says. Yes, the takeout box. I know, right, Eileen? So he got this and this at the restaurant/healing room. Okay? I just thought it was awesome. So that was what they brought me back from LA. They know I love paper. Again, I think they tried to go to a Daiso and it was closed when they went. And plus, you know, they had all this Halloween stuff to do, you know, with all their friends and stuff. So it was like, you know, they didn't have a lot of shopping time. But I would much rather have a coffee cup than a t-shirt any day. That's just me. They know. Last year, they went to the Warner Brothers studio. I think they went the year before. Was it Universal? Anyway, so that was this was my gifts. But I love the bags and the boxes. I mean, you know, we love this kind of stuff, right? No, I haven't, Dixie. I haven't. All right, so let's see. They come here too. You know, the whole family comes here. They try to come out here once, sometimes twice a year, usually once a year. So, all right, so let me move all my goodies off the table here so I have some space to spread out. Oh, I forgot to show y'all again. I talked about when I showed the pumpkin. It's the same process that we did to make these masks. So these were just these white plastic masks that I got at Hobby Lobby a month ago maybe. And there's a recording for this. Look in the mixed media playlist if you're interested in seeing the same process that we did on the pumpkin. Is the same process I do on my art cards, any kind of my collage-y. We just drew some little people in there. And so it's some collage, and then we painted the scenes. So painted all these scenes. This one is just kind of like not a scene, more of just a mix, you know, just a random collage-y kind. So there's the masks, and I did put the things on them. I painted the inside black. I signed them all. And so I think Cam wants them to hang up in his room. Yes, there's awesome. And you can get awesome gift wrap like at Blick's even. Blick. I'll show you one that, well, I got a couple here that I haven't. Come on, let me show you. I have a few kind of fun gift wraps that I've collected. From just Blick. Here's some of the gift wraps I'll show you real quick that you can get. And they're usually about $2 for a sheet. You know, and I've given most of them away. I think I only have 4. Cam's got a couple. And you can use them as posters or cutouts. So this one is like vintage paper dolls. And it's a full poster size sheet of wrapping paper of all vintage. This one's vintage. Maybe if I leave it here a second, this will be the thumbnail that that gets picked up on YouTube. Anyway, I can just take a picture and put my own thumbnail in. But anyway, so there's that. This is the most recent one I got. This was the last one we went to. I think this is the one I went to Savannah Blick. And this one was made, I think it's a vintage print from 1973, reproduced, but it came out in 2004. So this design is from 2004, basing their designs from 1973. I can probably remember half of these fashions and wearing them, but yeah, there's probably lots. I'm sure there's lots of stores that carry all kinds of these fancy. Who was it? It was what's the other bookstore that closed down? Here, they had a whole section of this kind of stuff. Anyway, so you can just kind of see some of the awesome. Yeah, they have map ones carried. I've given all of my map ones away, or I've used them. So there's that one. Try to kind of keep loose rubber bands around so I don't bend them. This one is cats. Vintage cats. Again, you know, when I find the right thing, I'll cut it up and put it in there. Hey, my kids were born those years. You're younger than my kids, Paula. Okay, so anyway, but I don't think about my age. I seriously do not think about it. This one was vintage cameras. I gave one of these away. I forget who I gave one of these. Maybe I also had vintage typewriters. There's a vintage typewriter one. This is a vintage camera. So you can see. And this paper is kind of that texture-y kind. So again, if I find some use for this, I'll cut it up. I don't mind using anything if I have the right thing to use it for, you know. So just to kind of show you that you can get this kind of stuff now. I mean, you can buy this stuff, you know, just at Blick. All right. So I think we're done with that. So let me see now about maybe lowering my camera and doing some color booking. I think I do need to go run and get some hot coffee though. So if you're watching this recording, don't panic. Just fast forward. I'm going to run get some hot coffee, and I think I'll lower the camera. I could put it on the tripod. I could take it off because right now it's on the stick, on the big floor tripod, hanging with the gorilla arm around the camera. But I can take it off of that and put it on just a regular tripod so we're closer. Maybe I'll do that. I'll just put it on the tripod. All right, let me go get another cup of coffee, and I'll be right back. You're a baby, Carrie. You're a baby. Hang on. You know what? I might just lower. Let me just lower the legs on this for now, so I don't have to, block everything out and jiggle everything. Well, it is going to move. So I'm going to I'm going to drop the legs on this overhang. So it's going to, if you're one of those people that get dizzy or whatever, then just kind of look away for a minute, because I'm going to move the legs. It's going to drop the camera. So hang on. So I've got to remove some tape on one leg here. Come on. Okay. I don't want it to fall over. Trash can. There we go. All right, hang on, guys. Back her up. Okay, I do have to move this other leg. It's going to fall. It's going to collapse. Hang on. Don't look away. Don't freak out. That one's not wanting to drop for some reason. All right, I gotta move this one back up. Hang on. There we go. Okay. All right. I think we're good. Let me focus in again. I think we're get my focus back. Okay, I think we're good. How's that look? Does it look too dark? If it gets too dark, let me know, because it is pouring down rain here. I have 5 lamps on, and the window, of course, the window's open, but it doesn't matter because it's dark. If it gets too dark, see, it kind of flashes out. Oh, that bugs me. I wish I had light lock, but I didn't. Okay, all right, let me put a test in the chat, make sure I keep scrolling, and we're good. Okay, so now we're going to talk about some color books, and let me move the fan, it's blowing it. All right. Get my stuff up here on the table. So I keep, lately, because I've been using it all so much, I've been keeping my color book accoutrements in drawers and trays, because I'm constantly using them. Bye, Lisa. Yeah, I know. There's yeah, it's pouring down rain. Okay, let me lighten it up again, guys. So it's dark, and with my light not locking in, it's even more of a problem. So these are the books. Again, I'm not going to go through these charts of showing underpainting and color pencil over. I've talked about this in a couple of the other episodes, so I'm not going to talk about that. I'm just going to color today. I'll probably work a little on one and a little on another. I will not be able to finish any full page in a couple hours, okay? Which is about what I have left in this, time frame. So if y'all have any questions, put them in caps, and I'll try my best to answer them. Or if you're watching the recording, just leave me a comment. I'll be happy to answer. I try to answer all YouTube comments within that day. And sometimes my emails are even slow. Maybe if you email me, it might be 2 days, depending on how much work I got going on. So the Doodler's Anonymous book, this is the one that I've been really kind of working in 2 pages in a row, and then Anamorphia, I haven't worked in it since y'all saw me do the last fish. So these are the last pages that I did in Anamorphia, and again, the big areas of the fish and all the other animals have been washed, underwashed, with a wash of watered down acrylic paint. It does wrinkle your page. It will wrinkle your page. But by the time you get done with everything on there, you really can't even tell that it's wrinkled. Okay? So, you know, you can't even see. I mean, I can feel a little bit of warping, but not much. By the time you get done with layers of color pencil over the wash, it's okay. This is the only book that I'm doing lots of wet washes in. I'm getting people ask me, do you put a wash under every bit of all that color? No. The wash is only under the big areas, like the owls. There's a wash of brown and a wash of gray. Okay? It's only under the big areas in this book. The only areas washed out here are the yellow background and the lizards here. Okay? Everything else is just colored with markers, or sometimes I showed a demo with the Neo colors or something else. But pretty much everything else is just done with color pencil. Okay? That's where, Annie's in, well, I won't go into where she lives on recording, Blondie, but anyway, she's out there, your area. So anyway, that's all the areas that have a watered down acrylic. And I'm talking, when I say acrylic, I just mean craft paint. I like Americana because I like the color selection. But whatever kind of cheap craft paint you have, all it is, I squirt a little bit out on a palette and water it down. I just have a little spray bottle here, and I just water it down, and I'll do a wash over the big areas. Only in this book, because only in this book do I have these big areas, okay? So does that answer the question, I hope, on the watercolor wash? Let me click lost my chat for a second. Yeah, I do a lot of commission work, but my commission work is people and pet portraits. Okay, that's what my commissions. And so, and if you are interested in a commission, you know, let me know, either private message me or email me or whatever. I do portraits. So do you ever use color pencil start to finish? Yes, Orla, on the smaller books. Like here, in here. Let me show you something here. This one I think might have a little bit of marker added to border some of this stuff, but this is all color pencil, except for maybe a little bit of marker, cheap kids water-based marker outlines. Okay, so I will use some marker sometimes, depending on the page. I don't mind mixing up marker and pencil, but the only time that I've been mixing acrylic paint washes is in the big book. Because it's such a wide area, I want to get something down on there and then start building some color pencil shading on top. But just regular color book pages like this, there's a little bit of marker, like that purple outline right there, that's marker. Everything else is color pencil. Now in this book, the paper is very thick, and the marker doesn't even go through. Again, I'm talking about water-based Crayola markers, cheap kids markers, that kind of marker. I'm not talking about alcohol-based Copics. It may stand up in this particular book because this particular book is thicker, but I don't even own any Copics, okay? But Copics and alcohol-based markers will go through like anamorphia. This is not thick. This is not thick paper here. It's thicker than, say, copy paper, but not by much. You can't use markers on this. I can use a light wash of the, acrylic paint. That's not going to go through. It does warp and wrinkle the pages some, but it doesn't sink through like an alcohol-based marker. Okay? This book possibly could hold up to Copics, because it's thicker. It's not quite 110 weight. I keep thinking maybe 90 weight, something like that. I'm guessing, but it's thick. Okay, I can use the water-based markers in this, no problem. It does not go through. Like when I outlined that purple that you saw, this doesn't go through at all. Okay, so please ask questions. Hey, Uli, please ask questions if you have any. I want to try to address as many as I can because I get emails a lot of questions I've already answered. And I know that it's hard for people to watch 3 hours worth of a show. So I'm trying to condense the question and answers so that, you know, people can hear what it is. Okay, so again, this is all color pencil except with a little bit of the purple outline there. Let's see, what else do I might have? I think maybe I did some yellow marker right in there because it was just because I wanted it dark yellow. But pretty much it's all color pencil. Okay, like this, the little shoelace here, that's red. I have the outline is red, color pencil for the little, you know, the shoelace hole. Then I have a sienna, an orange, a yellow, and a white. That's how I got 4 colors for that right there. The sky is just color pencil. Again, this paper is really it feels like, you know how cardstock feels, like your 110-pound Staples cardstock, that's kind of slick. It's not coated, but it almost feels like there's no tooth to it at all. Okay, it's very slick. So you're able to get these dark colors on the paper matters, guys. The paper and the color books totally does matter. It totally does matter. Okay, so let me just show you. Let me show you first, quick, in this book what I have done. This was the first one I did, and I just put in there Color Book Addict. I just wrote that in myself. Again, my camera's going to flash out on some of the white paper. I really can't do anything about that. So, but this is the first one I did, and I just put some whoosh, you know, some whooshes of color, so to make it look like the leaves were blowing. This is the astronaut and the little cat, and I did a lot of this. I did a lot of this one on a stream. So y'all saw me do all this shading and blending. Maybe not to the very end, but you saw how I shade and blend a lot on this page. So there's a little cat. Also, if you have, like, the cat's face was black, but sometimes the black, this case it's pretty black, but sometimes the color book pages are not real, they almost kind of look a little bit grayed out. Go over the black with the black pencil. Now in this case, what I did is I added highlights with white pencil. So all that white on his face is color pencil, white color pencil. I put a glow around him in the blacks. This guy was already black. I just went over it with color pencil to make it look like kind of like, you know, some kind of smoky, foggy, just to make it look a little bit more spacey, you know. Hey, Kathy, anybody else coming in? I'm going to go, when I get to the wash on this one, I'll tell it again, Ella. So, and then I just added some white little paint, some acrylic paint on top to make it look like there was glass. Like, you know, it was, like he had a, you know, he's got glass on there. And then I just added this artist in space. I just put that in myself. And then I highlighted the artist that drew it. So, and all the artists, there's, I think, 90. There's 90 pages. I'm not sure if there's 90 artists. But they're all in the back with their websites. Back here. Okay. And then I think I've done one more. This one's very funky. It's very funky. And if y'all don't follow Doodlers Anonymous blog, go over there. They've been around for a long time. I think I've followed them since they started, or pretty much near since they started. So y'all go over there and follow them. And they have awesome artists over there. And, you know, people can submit their stuff. But these are all Doodlers Anonymous, you know, from their website. They're people that follow them and submit things. And their work was accepted for the color book. I think, is this their second? I'm not sure if it's their second or third color book, but this is the first one that I know that's been published in bookstores. Okay, they do have their other color books, I think, are for sale, but through them, unless that's updated. I don't know, that might have updated. But this was the first one I've ever seen in the actual bookstore. And then this is the one that I did, finished up yesterday, and I posted it this morning. I couldn't get it, and it's still, I mean, this is bright white. It's very bright white paper, but because it's dark and I couldn't get a really great picture of it, it looks a little tan. The background looks a little tan in the photograph I took, but this is actually a pure white, which I love, pure white page that I got a little bit of shadow on because it's, you know, from the studio lighting, like, you know, I just couldn't quite get it bright enough. But yeah, but I really like this one. Now, when we talk about being the boss of your color book or your boss of your journal or anything like that, I want to show y'all a couple things. I added my own little doodles to it. This is a doodler's book. So if you are one that doesn't like people altering coloring books, you may not be a colorer or an art journaler or a mixed media artist, or maybe not an artist, because these books are made to color. They're made to, I made giant shoelaces on them. I added all this as white gel pen dots. That was just solid black. I added all my own dots. Change it up. It's your color book. You are the boss of your color book. Do I have to say that? Anyway, so I did this to make it look like this was kind of like a shiny ribbon, like maybe this was his jacket was satin. So I did dark brown, sienna, kind of a sienna brown, and then gone over, you know, they blend together into yellow, and then I left that white. So you see how that makes it look like it's shiny ribbon by doing that kind of blending like that. And then on the white areas, I add a little bit of gray, blue, a blue-gray, to make it look like a shadow under there. So all the blue just makes it look rounded. You see how that works? See how that makes it look rounded there? This book right here is the Doodlers Anonymous Epic Color Book. And there's like illustrated by 90 artists. I knew there was 90 pages. I didn't know there was 90 artists. An extraordinary mashup of doodles and drawings begging to be filled in with color. But you can add your own stuff. I mean, there's places where I added my own, this checkerboard was not there. I added my own checkerboard. Okay. Checkerboard there. That was not checkerboarded. There was no white on the cat's face. I added that. There was no white glow around the astronaut. I added that. So, you know, you're the boss of your color book. Oh my gosh, you need to see it, Christy. It's like not this past Saturday, but I think the Saturday before. Right, Paula? It says, she says it in there. Which one? Or put a link, Paula, if you want. So this is my most recent one that I posted this morning. So just so you can kind of see. And I put like a couple shades. I put a silvery gray. It's not silver, but it's a gray with a silvery. I don't like put a lot of metallics just because it doesn't photograph well. Not that you can't. Put a glitter all over your page if you want. You know, I'm just saying because I know I'm photographing them and I want them to be as true to color as I can get them. So I try not to use any metallic pencils. So I try to use a blue-gray and a kind of a sienna coppery color to make it look kind of metal. So I kind of mix those colors together to look a little bit rusty, but yet a little bit metal. Again, some shadows on his face with gray, kind of a blue-gray. So yeah. So that was the last one I colored in here. I've only started one other one with the balloon here, and then I colored the spokes in with a black marker, not a Sharpie, a black, one of the kids type markers. I used the Crayola. This is the kind of markers I use in coloring books. Now, again, if you want to make a copy of your page to keep and you want to color it with Copics, then I would recommend making a copy of what you want to keep on 110 cardstock or whatever kind of paper that you know can hold up to Copics or alcohol markers. These are just the kids' Crayola Super Tips. The reason I like them is because they're like a bullet tip, but you can get a point as well. You can get a tiny little mark. Let me get this piece of paper here. You can get a thin line, but you can also get a thick line. Again, these are just water-based. They're not watercolor markers. Eileen, if you're still here, if you'll tell them the name of those brush. There's some, I don't know how new they are. I see all the girls buying them now. But they're watercolor markers. They're actually watercolor markers that blend much better like watercolor would. They're expensive. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what they're called. They're they're called watercolor brush markers. I can't remember who they're by. Someone will put the, the name of them in here in the chat in a second. They're more expensive and they'll blend better. But I don't really worry about so much about like this. Let me show you again. I don't worry so much about when I color something if I have a little bit of lines in it because I'm going over that with color pencil. So if there's an area like this balloon that I color in red and there's some streaks to it, it doesn't really bother me because I know I can color over it with color pencil. If it's just some tiny little areas, these work fine. You're not going to get any streaking at all in tiny, tiny little areas. Okay? Zig Clean Color Brush Markers. If you get them through Amazon, don't forget to put in Paula's A-store number. Put in this in the A-store, journal 038-20, so Paula can get 5 cents off that purchase. Anyway, so these are just the Crayola. You can get 50 of them for $10, and that's before a coupon. You can get them for $5-6 for 50 colors. In their Crayola brand, they're usually in the kids section at Michael's or Hobby Lobby or wherever. That's where I got mine, Michael's, for 40% off. So they're $6 for 50, which is great for coloring. Again, make sure even with these water-based ones, if you're in a thin book, if you're in a thin color book, make sure to go to the back page and make sure it's not coming through. This book is heavier paper, so I can use these on here. The other markers that I bought recently were these. I think there's 24 colors. These are the Recollection brand at Michael's, and they are I liked them because I just bought them as a test. They're tiny, tiny point. Tiny, and they're brush. These, believe it or not, now, again, you want to test everything before you put it in your color book. This page, this can hold up to it. Were $4.99. $4.99 for, and I think there's maybe a couple of doubles of blue. I'm not sure, maybe a yellow. Anyway, 24 markers for $4.99. Use a coupon and get them for like $2. Okay, so you can buy these cheap kids markers, even though they're the Recollection brand. I think they're in the scrapbook section at Michael's. But they're little, and I can't say how long they'll hold up, how long they'll last. I mean, I figured if I got one page out of it was worth $5. Well, $3 actually, So you can buy these cheap kids ones. Just make sure you test, and if your pages are not this thick, make sure you test to make sure it's not going to bleed through, or make a copy of one you might want to keep. Okay? Now, I'm not recommending you go and, buy a book and copy. I'm not, don't get into copyright thing with me. If you just want to color it yourself for your own self, or, don't email me. So anyway, that's all that I've got done in this book. So I thought maybe I would do a little bit in this book with maybe some markers. maybe a little bit of markers, and a little something a little bigger like this where you can see it. If I get something this big, you're not going to be able to see me color, even with the camera's literally this far from the page. You know, I can zoom in some, and hopefully it won't, you know, we'll try to zoom in some and make sure it doesn't pixelate, but I'd rather you see it clearly than so close that it just pixelates. But maybe we'll do something like this, a little bit of this page, so that you can see me working with markers and pencil. Now, let's go to Animalia. This is my other favorite book at the moment. These two are the two books I'm really working in the most. I will color some other things like the kimono, the animal, some of those Creative Haven books that are one-sided, and I'll color those and actually just cut them right out of the book, you know. Like, for instance, you know, these right here, these Creative Haven ones, you can get these at Hobby Lobby, and Hobby Lobby allows you to use a coupon on books. Michael sells Creative Haven too. You cannot use coupons on books at Michael's. Okay, so let's see. If y'all have any questions, Lynn got some Crayola Super Tips at Target for $7 for $50. Yeah. So, and they're great. They're just water-based, not watercolor. They're water-based markers. They're not made like watercolors to really blend much. And, you know, you can't just scrub. You'll just put a hole through your paper. You know, you gotta, you know, test things out. If you're not used to using a product, get in the back of your book on a, you know, blank sheet and test it out and see if it goes through. Test it out and see what it does. But the one thing I will always keep, I try to always remember to tell you, whether you're using a acrylic wash, a watercolor, your Neo colors, watercolor pencil, markers, any of those, make sure they're 100% dry before you start trying to blend color pencil over them, because you will dig right through and make a hole just that quick. So either use your heat gun and dry it 100%, or wait till it's 100% dry. Don't even attempt to try to go on top of wet anything with color pencil. You'll put a hole through your page. Okay? All right. So this one, again, these are one-sided. The Creative Havens are one-sided. So if I want to color one of these, they're perforated. I will cut them. I'll just tear them right out. They're perforated. Let me get, there we go. So I'll just tear it out, and then I can color this with anything I want, and it doesn't matter if it goes through, because I'm going to cut it out and put it in an art journal as a separate thing. And I'm not going to get those art journals out right now. I've shown, you know, if you want to see, just look at Mixed Media Art Journal Combination Color Book video, and you'll see where I've colored these in, cut them out, and used them in a scenery in an art journal. I'm the boss of my color book pages. These are the Crayola Super Tip washable markers. Yeah. They're water-based. They're water-based. They're just, you know, they're water-based. But you can use other markers on, you know, depending on if you're using, I can't vouch for anything Copic. Whether Copic will bleed on this paper, I have no idea. Test it out, test it up here, you know, make sure if you're going to use something, even if you're going to cut it out. Because that's what I do with these Creative Havens. Here's the Naturescape. You saw that my version of what I did with the giraffes. I painted them blue, cut them out, and did a double page spread in my art journal. You know, I've got bits here where I've used colored bits. See, that's where I used a Sharpie, and it went through. But it didn't matter, because this is for me to cut up. It's not in the book, okay? But if this had a double page side, this would ruin the, you know, whatever image you had on the back, okay? I did this knowing I was going to cut it all up, all right? And I keep that here for an example to show y'all that. So I love these Creative Havens because they are one side. Again, they're not a book that I'm going to color, you know, from cover to cover. I'm going to want to use these images in my art journal. So I'll tear them out, color them, and cut them out and use them in an art journal. That's kind of what I use these kind of books for. Now, I have other books like Animalia that I'm not going to tear these out or cut them up. I mean, you can, but you got to realize you're going to be losing the other side. Okay, let me take a sip of coffee and see if there's any questions. Hey, everybody. Hey, Stony Brooks. Anybody else popping in? Hey, Deb Z. Artsology Deb. Yeah, Paula is starting to use her. She was using her Stampin' Up! Markers the other night. So, okay. So now, oh, and let me show you one other. This Animalia, this book right here, is by Omara Publishers, and they're out of the UK, and I follow them on Twitter. If y'all want to follow them, they are, I think just look up Michael O'Mara, and you'll see anytime they're talking about their new color books or any kind of books, where they are in the UK, what bookstores they're at promoting their stuff, talk about their artists, talk about their books and all that. So they're also the ones that did the dog one. Let me see, where is that? Where is that one? Hang on a second. Where did I go? Which is awesome, and I still haven't completely read it through. I'm just reading bits of it at a time. How to Be a Dog. This is hilarious, and I've read bits. They sent me this. They said if you'd like to have a copy of this, put your name in for a drawing, and I did, and I won it, and they sent it to me from the UK, and it's just so funny. How to make owners feel guilty. Foul smells rolling in. It's just like from the dog's perspective. So they published this. They published this. It's all, I mean, they published lots of things. I'm just giving you a couple that I have here. They published this one, the classic comic coloring book. This one was the first Omara one I got, and it was before I even knew of Omara. And I hope I'm pronouncing that. It might be Omara. It's Omara. I got this one at Barnes & Noble well, they had I don't want to say it was on clearance. They had a big sale on all things coloring book. This was a couple months ago, before, everything was stacked out color books. And so I got this one for like, I think it was $7 or something. But it's vintage. It's vintage comic book covers. Vintage comic book covers. And here's the one. I did make a copy of this one because I wanted it on thick. I wanted to be able to use marker. So I did make a copy of this so I could test out things on it. So there's my version of one of the covers. I inked the edges to make it look vintage. They do have a few here. I think they have like 9 here. I don't know if they have any in the front. Yeah, so they have 18 of them that show you how they were, I guess, originally colored, or somebody colored them. But she was wearing red and he was wearing red. It was too much red, so I put her in blue. But anyway, so they're fun. It's fun to do. So that's another cool, book by them. Just all kinds of vintage comic books. And I really want to do more of these because I really think they're fun. Because I can remember reading, well, maybe not the 40s, but anyway. So there's that one. Okay, so back to the Anamorphia one. This is the only one that I really do any washes in. Okay, so we're going to do one. And here again, I have a tray of markers. I have my tray of color pencils. But now, remember, the reason I have a lot of color pencils is because I do portraits. I do commission portraits, all in color pencil. Okay, well, with a little bit of acrylic in the hair and clothing. But all the faces and all that, I do all my portraits in color pencil. So I do have a lot of color pencils. Okay, just, if you have if you just want to color in color books and you have a set of 72 colors, whatever brand you decide you like the best, then, you got a good enough collection of colors for a color book. All right, so let me have a sip of coffee. Any questions? Hello, Princess Buttercup. I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, the brush markers that and the one, the Creative Memories ones and all those, they're more expensive. Now, I don't think they sell Creative Memories. I mean, they've changed it, right, Paula? Or, I mean, I don't even know if they have them anymore. But they were made, I think they're pretty much all the same. Zig, I think, did them. And I don't know if Zig is now a Japanese, import with another name. I don't know. I'm not really a marker gal. I've never been into Copics. My grandson loves them because he does manga and other kind of things with Copics, and he has his own Copic collection. He loves his Copics. I've just never really been a marker gal, but I do like, just doing something like this in a color book. For one, I can get in those tiny little areas quick, and so, yeah, use some markers, use some color pencils, use whatever you like. You've been coloring. Good. All right, so I'm going to show you, I'm going to do one here that I haven't put anything on yet. You can see I've got washes on some of these animals already. And I do recommend, especially when you have a double-sided page that you're coloring and you have a lot of color like this, to put a piece of parchment or wax paper or something in, well, probably best to have parchment. Wax paper can pull up some of your, I would just recommend parchment if you can. But put something between them, because here's why. When I go to color this page and I'm bearing down with color pencil, if I don't have something between these pages right here, it's going to transfer to each other. That blue is going to get on the yellow because I'm bearing down on this side. Now, again, I'm pretty good about lots of light layering rather than really pushing hard with color pencil. But even just in one section, if I stayed in one section long enough with the color pencil, I'm going to pick that blue up onto this yellow. I spent a lot of hours on this. I don't want that blue on that yellow. So you want to put a piece of parchment, or some kind of paper. I don't really recommend wax paper because that can probably transfer. You might be bearing down and transferring waxy stuff to your pages, and you don't want to do that. Okay, do you have talked about use watercolor? Well, I'm getting ready to, you could do the same thing here that I'm doing with the watered down acrylics. But again, let me show you my chart. Somebody's asking me about using watercolor as a underpainting on these things. I'll show you why I like acrylic. I did this chart. I'll show it again because I guess I'm getting a lot of questions on it. I did this chart showing a couple of videos ago underpainting with Americana craft paint, Neocolor 2s, just a regular Crayola crayon, markers, watercolors, a kids brand and a koi brand, Inktense pencils, and acrylic ink. And then I went over it with a black and a white color pencil to show you the difference of what happens when you go over color pencil on top of these different washes. Here's why I like acrylic paint opposed to watercolors. Look at the white. Look at the white right there. This is on top of acrylic paint. That's on top of watercolor. See how it's not as vibrant? And this is true of whatever color you put on top. If you can do a wash of watercolor, but one of the main reasons I just want to get a wash on, but look at the difference in the vibrancy. So it's better if you use a wash of acrylic paint rather than just watercolor or any of these other things. They all work except Crayola crayons. If you're just coloring with a crayon, plain old Crayola crayons, and you try to go over it with color pencil, you cannot. You cannot go over wax crayon with your color pencil. That's white, right? You can't even see it. See, this is what happens. But everything else you can color on top of, but the vibrancy of the color pencil will only remain here with the color pencil. I mean, with the underpaint of acrylic. Okay? All right, so let me find another page here where I haven't put a wash down of acrylic paint. Again, the reason I do that is one, well, for multiple reasons. One, it will give this slick paper some tooth to color on top of these big areas. It gives me a wash to work on top of so that you don't even have to color every little nook and cranny. Okay, for instance, let's see, okay, maybe their wings might be the best. So I have a wash of a gray blue on their wings, but I don't have to color every little bit of the wing. The color underneath is like my highlight. Okay, and then some of it's a brighter white highlight on top of the blue, and I've got dark blue shadows and some black and even a little bit of brown on there. The orangey brown, the sienna brown. Okay, all right. All this other stuff is just color pencil. Some of it is like, let me show you on the fish. This is just red color pencil. No blending, no shading, solid red. You don't have to shade, now you can if you want, but you don't have to shade and color every little bit if you don't want to. For me, one of the funnest things about coloring, other than just the relaxing, is working out different color combinations. Seeing what I like the orange and the blue, I just thought that was perfect. Is it a betta fish? Is it a goldfish? Is it both? Again, I wanted to do all the leaves. I knew ahead of time that I wanted all these leaves to be fall leaves. So because I knew I was going to do all fall leaves, I wanted a bit of orangey sienna in the owls to make them almost like camouflaged, So let me see here. Again, here's a wash of blue over the whale, a wash of purple over the octopus. There's the bear. Let's see what others. I got a wash of gray. Now you see how it's wrinkled? It does wrinkle. It's water. It's going to wrinkle your pages if they're thin like this. But I don't care. I don't mind that. Okay, so let's see here something else. And again, don't yell at me, Eileen. Here's some pink flamingos with just a wash of pink. Now, one of the other things cool about doing a big area of these animals in a wash is some areas you can get darker, some you leave lighter. So with a wash, it can give you that watercolor look. And then, let me show you the lizard. Here's where I started one a couple of weeks ago. He's got a wash of green, but then here's where I'm starting to go in with color pencil detail. Yeah, I'm going to do one. Hang on, Marie. I'm getting ready to. Hold your horses. Hold your taters there, Miss Marie. Hold your taters. So you can see right there with some color pencil. But look, see how I can leave that light green? The light green under there showing through? That's the wash. Okay? Yeah, I'm looking for which page I want to do a wash on. I'm kind of trying to decide here what I want to do. Because most of them I've already got a wash on. I've shown it. I have shown this, guys, a few times. All these that you see with the wash, I've probably done on a video. I know I've done half of them on a video. Okay, maybe one of these birds. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do a bird. I don't really want to do the parrot. That's kind of small. Well, these birds are kind of small too. I want y'all to be able to see, when I'm doing something. So maybe let's look something a little bigger. Okay, here's the squid. Maybe we'll do the squid. Okay. Now, the only thing I do not like about this book is that it does go into the crease. And I've heard other people kind of complain about that too. But, it's a color book. It's okay. I didn't need a K. All right, so I think I'll do this one. Which one are you trying to color now, Paula? I missed it because by the time I flipped through the chat, lag. Which one are you coloring in at this point? Okay, so again, do I want him to be blue? Do I want him to be gray? Do I want him to be green? You know, maybe I'll do him, let's do him turquoise. We can do whatever color we want. It doesn't have to be realistic. Okay? All right. So I'm pretty zoomed in here. Again, it's going to keep flashing the light in and out. We'll just have to deal with it. But I think we'll do him turquoise. I think it'll show up well and that. So let me see here. Let me get a turquoise. Which one do I want to do? Bahama blue or do I want desert turquoise? I think we'll go with desert turquoise. Let me find a clean palette here. I got a new one. We are coloring at the coffee shop on Wednesday afternoons. And I saw someone mention that on Facebook. You know, people used to get together for quilting bees, scrapbooking. You know, I wonder when the first color book store will be opening. Of course, you know, that's kind of, it would have to be more than just color books because, you know, this kind of trend comes and goes. It's not like you're saving scrapbook memories, pictures, and photos of your family. You know, but there sure is a lot of color books out there for sale right now. So yeah, getting together and doing something like that's another way just to get together with people. I mean, if I had any local friends, I would be doing it. Where's Darcy? Darcy Glam, we need to get together and color. No, we're supposed to go on a sketch crawl together at the museum. That hasn't happened yet either. Me and Darcy, because Darcy lives in Atlanta. All right, so here's what I usually do. I just put out a little bit of paint like that, all right? And I can kind of guesstimate how much. I mean, I always can put some more out because I'm only using one color and water, okay? You could use more if you want. So a couple squirts of water. Let me get over here and get a brush. Make sure I have a clean one. So I'm just going to water down the acrylic paint. That's all it is, just water down acrylic paint. Again, because of the properties of the binder in acrylic paint, is why the color pencil is much more vibrant than just a plain old watercolor. Plain old watercolor just doesn't give it that grip, the same kind of tooth that acrylic paint, and it's just matte. It's matte, not gloss, just plain old cheap craft paint. But Americana is just my favorite because of the colors. So if you have any questions, put them in caps. You got a knitting group. Took over 3 tables at Starbucks every Friday. I know, Whippy. Anita says that they're coloring at the coffee shop Wednesday afternoon this week. You want to go on a sketch crawl? Hey, Sarah O, by the way. Yeah, me and Darcy have been wanting to go to the museum in downtown Atlanta and do a sketch thing. You know, just go out and just take our sketchbooks and just sketch. But, you know, it's hard for everybody to get together. All right, so I want to make sure that it's not, for me, and you can do it as thick or as dark as you want, but I want to make sure it's still translucent because I want to see the little lines from the color book, artist shading. And again, I'm not extra careful. If it gets on something else, I'll color over it. But you have to realize, too, you're doing a wash, and if you don't keep it moving, you're going to have areas dry, and you'll be able to see where they're not. See, can you see how it's like you can see light and dark, which I like that look. But if you're trying to get a flat-out, flat color like you would on a Copic, this probably isn't going to work for you unless you're so quick that you just continuously keep your pages consistently the right wetness. But I like it where some areas are dark, some areas are light, because that gives it the underpainting that looks kind of watercolory. And then you have something to build on top of where you can keep some of it without color pencil, or you could color the whole thing over if you really want to. So I'm just kind of trying to see where this guy's going because I want to do, I'll get a smaller brush for the tentacles. Okay, but here's his whole face here. So this is all there is to it. This is all there is to it. And white pencil will go right over the top of this, just as smooth, well, Prismacolors will go over this just as smooth as can be. Another thing I like about it is now I can get in those crevices. I can get down in the crease there. And I'm not real careful about around these little tiny things because I can put color pencil right over those little doodles. Oh, thanks, Anita. I know. I wish we would have had time, Anita, when you were here to have done a stream with live stream, doing some art, And so while I'm doing this main color, I'm thinking now, do I want the background to be black? Do I want it to be dark blue? Do I want it to be light blue? To me, I like dramatic contrast. I think I need to get a little bit smaller in some of these tentacles. Let me get a smaller. Oops, sorry guys, bumped my head on the. I got my camera so low, it's literally 6 inches. 6 inches from my paper here. Let me just get a smaller. Here we go. Whoops. So, we got any questions? Yeah. So we didn't get to do a show when Anita was here, other than just having her come on and say hi. All right. So what I was saying though is I like high contrast. Just makes it look very dramatic. So having all that background black or dark blue would be more dramatic than say doing it in light blue or something. And I really probably wouldn't want to do it in light blue anyway, because I'm doing him in a turquoise color, which would probably have been my choice for a light blue background underwater. Would have probably been like this turquoise color. All right, but again, I want to, as I'm going, I'm thinking of things to tell you. Don't sit here with your wet brush, soaking wet, which does wrinkle this paper, and sit here and do this. You're going to dig right through that paper. This is not watercolor paper. You can't like be getting an area, just, you got to keep moving. Keep moving. And if you go out of the lines, just remember, everything you're going out of the lines onto can be colored over. When I did the wash, I lost it. So, all right, if you lost your details with the wash, your paint was too thick. You have to water it down. Water it down. And then just go on an area. Test it. If you go on here and you can't see the color underneath, you got it too thick. You have to almost have it like a watercolor wash. Again, you could use watercolor, but it's not going to give you the same grip when you go over it with color pencil. Okay? So I don't, I'm kind of trying to sort of be careful in there and being a little quick. But, I've been doing, a lot of, I've done a lot of coloring and not color books, but a lot of, art and inking, all kinds of, stuff. I can do it a little faster. And I know that the areas that I'm going over, if I get out of lines there, I know that's going to be black. It's going to be colored right here. I know that right here, I'm going to color that black. So it doesn't matter if it goes out of line. So, don't get all, like, keep it fun. That's how I think about it. So if it gets too thick, like right there, I got a little thick, you can just like wipe it off, But that's why. That's why you can't see the marks underneath, is because it's too thick. So I'm just doing a quick wash. Yeah, I think that, here's what people say, well, you're just in a color book. Well, what? Well, I'll tell you a few things that you can learn. First, you're going to learn some patience because it does take a long time to color these detailed, they call them adult color books, because they're so in-depth that it takes hours to really color them well, So you get some patience, but more importantly to me, you learn blending. If you're trying to do this with color pencil, which most people use color pencil. I might go in there with some little bits of marker or something if I need to, depending on the paper. Again, you want to make sure your markers are not going through if you are using marker. But you're learning how color combinations, You're learning what colors go together, what colors you like together. You're learning, mostly to me, the best benefit of this is blending and shading techniques. What does the cat say in his speech bubble? Oh, and he's just got a little fishbone. That's cute, isn't it? So, you know, to me, anything like this, if you're relaxing, you're enjoying it, you're doing something creative, you know, it could lead, just because you start out in a color book. I mean, which one of us did not start coloring in a color book when we were kids, right? You know, even if that's all you do, you're doing something creative, you're doing something that makes you happy, you know, whether you ever do anything with it or not. I mean, I don't know. I kind of get irritated with people that think, oh, you know, they're so, you're coloring in a color book? Like, you know, it's kind of like you're coloring, you're arting over somebody else's. Don't get me started. Okay. Let me move I'm trying to stay under camera here. So again, it's all very washed out. I mean, the paint's very watered down. You saw I just put that one little squirt. This is like 10 times more than I'm going to need, just for that one little color. And all right, so let me show you here. So see that little trumpet? Now you can get in there with a fine brush if you want. But I'm going to go right over it like that, because I can color pencil right over that trumpet when it's dry. Make sure, everybody, I can't stress that enough. You want to make sure this is perfectly dry before you come in here with color pencil, because you will not be happy the first time you poke through your page because it's wet. Okay. All right, let's see. I got a little bit more here. The only time you'd probably want to be careful with coloring like a wash and well, even that you can go over with white or acrylic paint. So even if there's an area you want to keep white, like a lot of the times in these little, this design is in a lot of the artist is Kirby Rosanas. He's in Philippines, and I do follow him on Twitter too. He doesn't post a lot, you know, but you can kind of keep up with where he goes and signs books and stuff like that. But he's got a lot of this, like almost like a Japanese wave type design in a lot of his pages. And on some of these, I do like to leave them white and just kind of shade some of the shadows and things, because the white, when I know that this is going to be a light color and this is going to be black, these are going to stand out really nice. No, I was working as a nurse. Yeah, and I mean, I think that these kind of things, color book pages, you know, stuff like this, if you have elderly people that have, you know, especially if they've been in some kind of creative field, and you know, like my grandma used to love to cross stitch until her eyes got so bad she couldn't do it. But you know, something like this can keep, you know, kids or elderly, you know, involved and doing something, feeling like they're doing something creative. I mean, you know, I'm going to tell my girls, if you ever have to put me in a home, make sure I have lots of color books and Prismacolors. Okay, so I think I'm looking it over. Now, the tentacles, I'm going to do in a contrasting color. The tentacles, or not the tentacles, the sucker part. Yeah, I guess that's the tentacles. Anyway, the sucker parts, I'm going to put another color wash over those. Okay, and that's another fish there. I'm just looking to see if I really got it, all of it. Okay. So the wash will not go through. No. It will wrinkle. It will wrinkle your page in this particular book. And the reason I like the wash in this book is because of the bigness of the animals. You don't need to do a wash under this. You know, you can just do, You know, I think I did a test with this with some Neo colors, though. I wanted to show y'all some Neo color usage. So I might have used some Neo colors under this, a little bit of wash of Neo color. But these small areas, you don't need a wash under because they're small. Just go with color pencil. I'm just, I'm looking at the big picture here. But try it out. Try out, get a back page, and if you're not sure if something's going to go through, test it out, because I'm telling you, every color book has different weight, texture, thickness, thinness, and tooth. Everyone's different. All right, so now I think I'm going to decide what color do I want. I think, do I want it pink? Do I want it purple? I want it kind of bright. I mean, some of them I like more realistic, like the owls. I did very subtle colors. It just depends on my mood. This book right here is probably one that I will buy again because I like it so much. I love all these animals. I just like it. If you find one that, this would probably be one of the only books I would color an image more than once with different colors, obviously. I'm not going to color it exactly the same just because it's so versatile. All right, so I'm looking at my acrylic colors right here and just trying to decide, do I want a pink? Do I want a purple? Do I want a yellow ochre? I'm trying to think of what would be, because I'm going to have, I'm going to do the background either dark blue or black. Yes, this is Anamorphia. Here's the cover. And this book's been out a while, and if you hashtag Anamorphia on YouTube or Instagram, you will find tons of people. Facebook. Okay, sorry guys, I bumped my head again. Reaching. I'm almost tempted to do like a mint green or a blue green. It would be, it could kind of go either way. It could be so subtle. It would be so much like the turquoise that it wouldn't really stand out. Do I want another higher contrast? I kind of do. I almost would use this light minty green on the foamy areas. Those foamy, kind of things. I might kind of like that because I want it to look kind of oceany. So if I'm going to use this foamy kind of lighter tone than this on those wave-looking things, then I'm going to want a real completely different color on the suckers. Yeah, feel free to ask any questions because it helps with anybody that's watching the recording if there's questions that are being answered. Yeah, I'm tempted to buy those as well, Sarah. Sarah O is talking about, there's two books called Outside the Lines and Outside the Lines TOO, 2 also, TOO. Outside the Lines and Outside the Lines 2. I think those are put out by Osborne. I've picked them up every time. They're very similar in feel to this kind of thing. I believe there's lots of different artists, and it's funky and this kind of look. I love this book. I love this book for the funky feel and 90 different artists. But yeah, the Osborne ones, and I believe that's a UK publisher as well. Osborne, it could be Osborne or Usborne. Is it Usborne? Usbourne, I believe is the one that does Outside the Lines and Outside the Lines 2. Yes, I found you, Dee Dee. One of my art cards. Carrie, will you put my email in there? Email me your address. If you're new here and you've been here a couple times and you want one of my art cards, I have to make another batch. Sometimes if you request an art card, it might take up to a couple weeks because I have to make them in batches because I don't do just that. Pedigree is the publisher. Okay, thanks, Sarah O. Pedigree. Okay. Yeah, Usborne does, or Usborne, Usbourne, does some similar ones to like that. Thank you, Sarah. So it's Pedigree is the publisher. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to decide again, do I want maybe even some lime green? But I think I've used some lime green. Did I use some? Yeah, I kind of did a lot of lime green. So I use lime green and turquoise here. So I don't really want to do lime green and turquoise again. How about maybe lime green and a tangerine? Let's do that. Or even yellow ochre. Which one do I want? Or a lighter yellow? I think I'd go with yellow, this kind of a yellow ochre, kind of like that. So it's going to have to be one of these two. I think I'll either go with cad yellow or orange twist. Either one of these. I guess I'll go with orange twist. That was my first instinct. Okay, so this is all dry paint, so I can put a bit of paint and a wash on here because it's all dry. Thanks, Sarah. Yeah, there you go. There's links, guys. Remember, if you buy something from Amazon, put in at the A store journal 038-20 so Paula gets a couple of cents off every purchase. I'm determined. We're going to get her some money off of this A store business. Okay, so now I'm just going to go in here. Again, that's a little too, because I can't see through it very well, so I'm going to water it down a little bit more. Want it watered down so you can still see through it. So I'm going to do the tentacles, this kind of tangerine orange color. Or I don't know if it's tentacles or if it's just the sucker part. I don't know. Is that, or yeah, anyway. The suction cups. All right, let's see. And, you know, we are all about helping each other, promoting each other. You know, everybody in this group that's pretty much been, you know, around, you know, 5 years or longer, or well, at least 5 years, some of us, 3, 4, 5 years. You know, we all try to, you know, promote each other, help each other. My channel in particular, I mean, I'll speak for my channel. In my channel, links are open for anybody to promote classes they take from whoever. Other artists, you know, if you want to talk all about, you know, the other artists, you streamers that you watch, you can do that. I'm for all of us succeeding. All of us artists can, you know, there's room for everybody to succeed. So why not, right? Why not? Now, we don't put up with spammers. If you're just coming here just to promote an Etsy store and that's all we ever see of you, we might kind of say, you know, something. But, you know, once or twice, every now and then, that's fine. Put your Etsy in. You got something new you're promoting. You're going to somewhere, you know, selling your wares at a convention or, you know, anywhere. You can do that here. And most of us are, you know, all about helping each other as well. Yep, exactly, Julie. All right, so I'm just going to kind of get in here. I'm just going right over those areas that I want all orange, like here. His big pad. Keeping it thin, though. It's more water than paint so that you can still see through it. All right, just kind of looking. I'm just kind of going, following the arms here, make sure I got them all. Maybe a little bit on the bottom side of that one. And maybe a little bit on the bottom side of that one. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Just a sip of coffee here. I really need to go get some hot coffee. So we're an hour and 45 minutes. Got probably another hour's worth of time on this recording. It's about 2 hours and 45 minutes is about what you can do in one segment. I mean, you can stream as long as you want, but you only can stream in a little under 3-hour segments. I'm considering starting a stream, but I need to get my setup sorted out. Well, we're here to help you, Sarah. If you have any questions, just ask us. We'll, tell you what kind of cameras we have and, all that. Okay, so I think I'm going to let this set for a minute. Now, when I come back, I'm going to hit this with a heat gun. You have to, oh, sorry, my camera is really low and my water's far away. You have to have this perfectly dry before you start shading on it with color pencil, okay? So I will hit it with the heat gun when I come back, but in the meantime, I'm going to run down and get me some hot coffee because I can feel my throat getting dry and sore. Hey, Jean. Yes, Jean streams at 4 on Mondays. Some of us have designated times, and I know I'm going to miss somebody. So if you stream and I forget to mention you, just put it in here. I stream for sure every Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Jean, music scrapper, does all kinds of mixed media, all kinds of paper crafts, and we got her into painting. Awesome. She does a lot of everything. She streams 4 Eastern. I don't think anybody streams Tuesday. Bren used to, but she hasn't streamed lately. Wednesday night is Paula, Journal Artista. She usually starts a pre-show at 9:30. And she also streams, at 8:30. 8:30 Eastern, and also on Saturday nights. Wednesday night, Saturday night is Paula. Those are, she streams those nights. Xandra streams usually before Paula on Wednesday. If I say it wrong, let me know, guys. Xandra streams before Paula on Wednesday night, 7:30, which I never make her streams because I'm watching Survivor and tweeting with Jeff and Rupert. And about 5 or 6, now it's about 7 or 8 of us girls now that all chat on Ustream. On Twitter. Then let's see. Thursday night is Blade, Artistic Biker. And I know I'm going to miss some of y'all that are just starting. I know Ella and Colleen with 2 L streams, but I don't remember their times. I've got my eyes closed thinking. Let's see. Fridays. I'm going to skip Friday for a second because somebody streamed Friday, but it's not coming to me. Saturday night, Dar started streaming again. Artie Dar started streaming again Saturday afternoons, 5:30, 6-ish. She has taken hiatuses, but I think she's coming back regularly. Sunday, I think, what's the other? Xandra streams Sunday afternoons as well. I'm trying to think of who else that I know. Jay streams, Jay? You mean Netherlands Jay? Streams Tuesday? You mean Joe? You mean Joe or Jean? I don't know who what Jay you mean, Jean. Sorry. Okay, Colleen is at 9 Eastern. At what day? Oh, yeah. Barb streams Friday. I knew there was somebody on Friday. Barb Owen, Creating Faces, streams 2 Eastern on Fridays. Yeah, Joe, I don't know. Sometimes, I don't know. Is she regular, Jean? I haven't seen her do a regular show in weeks. I don't know. Who else? Oh, and yeah, Angela, we call her Ange or Jen. She's been streaming on Fridays, Friday evenings. So that's all right, Jean. With the lag, we do have a lag here. So, and then Miko, I don't know if anybody has her link here, but on Miko's blog, she does have like a schedule, kind of. I don't know that everybody's on it. Some of the new people, I don't know if they're all on Miko's blog. But Miko, if any of y'all know Miko, she has on her blog a schedule of some of us that stream regular. So. And also Jen's been streaming some Sundays. Yeah, Blade. Blade streams Thursday nights. Yeah, I did mention him, McLinda. Artistic Biker. All right, let me go and get some coffee. Feel free to put any more links or, anybody else that y'all want to share who streams. I don't make really any night shows. I have to watch recording because some of them are really late for me when I get up so early. But, I try to catch all the recordings I possibly can if they stream at night. Milo's Spot on Blogger is Miko. Milo's Spot, one word, on Blogger, on blogspot.com. Okay, y'all feel free to put links in. I'm going to go grab some coffee. Okay. Yeah, see, hey, Robin. I mentioned Patty Tolly Parrish. I don't know that she has a scheduled stream, but she does weekends sometimes. So, anyway, yeah, feel free to put links. Yeah, MIKOSSPOT, blogspot.com. She has youth stream folks to watch for. Okay. So, I'm thinking about, again, the light green on these areas right here. So these areas I like to leave white with the foamy looking things, wavy looking things with like shading areas in there. But this could be almost white, I mean, it could almost go really light. So I think I will go ahead and just put a little bit of wash. Again, you don't need much. This is all dry paint. Just a dab of color with as little as area that I'm going to be doing this. Water it down. Clean water. So it's very minty. It's like a light minty green. All right, so I'm just going to come in. This brush might even be too big. And you probably won't even hardly be able to see. I just want to get like a general wash over all those waves. I'm not even really worried about getting right up into the tips, to the pointy areas. I'm just getting like a general wash over it because I'm going to go in there and like I said, the background is going to be all colored out with black. And depending on how big the areas are in the back, you could even do black. On the snakes, I did a green. I'll show you that in a minute. Let me dry this one thing at a time. You could, get in there with a smaller brush and get the larger areas with some acrylic paint, like flat black or flat green, like I did the snakes. Just try different things. You don't have to do exactly like mine. I just try to give you some, more ideas. All right, so I'm just going in here with all these waves and just kind of, again, I'm not really too worried about staying in the lines because this is going to be all painted out black or colored in black, one or the other. So it's not going to have to, I'm not going to worry about it being out of lines. I'm just kind of going around looking. And some of it's fun just to hunt. This book also has a kind of like a treasure hunt type thing in the back where you have to find different things, like that might be try to find the, it's all different things. So I'm just putting a light wash quickly over all the waves or foamy thing. So I'll try to get some section done so that you can kind of see at least a section done. You know, and I get people, can you color something from start to finish? Well, no, I really can't. Not, you know, this whole thing might take, you know, 6-8 hours, depending. And I don't rush. That's the thing. I don't rush through these. I'm kind of going a little fast now over these waves, but I don't really rush my coloring. I like to enjoy the process. For me, it's about the process. So I don't rush through it. But even trying to hurry on a stream, there's no way I can do one of these anamorphias in 3 hours. Just no way. You know? All right, so I'm kind of looking through here. All right. Okay, any questions or anything? This is Anamorphia Shabs. Anybody else coming in? This is a book I'm working in now. I'm holding it up so that I'm not closing the book because the page is wet. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and dry this with my heat gun. If you use a hair dryer or just wait, you cannot put you cannot put color pencil over wet paint or even marker. Believe it or not, when you put some marker down, you did this like with some markers, some water-based markers, depending on if it would go through, you want to make sure your markers are not going through. I only use the water-based ones. But they're wet. It wets your paper. You may not really think it's wet, but it's wet. I know, it can, depending on, you know, how intricate, you know, things are, it can take long time. But, you know, to me, it's about the process. It's fun. So, you know, you don't need to speed through it. I'm, you know, trying to do a little bit of a demo thing, so I'm, you know, going faster and stuff than you need to do. Don't feel like you have to rush through all this, for goodness sake. Okay, so again, you can either, you know, depending on what color you want in the background. And when I do a background, like let's say these owls, okay? In this case, no, let me give you the snake as an example. Okay, here. All these snakes are just washes. There's no color pencil on here except where I kind of did a little bit of a demo area right here. This is just all washes of paint, okay, big areas. But the background is dark green. I don't know if it's this one. Yeah. Dark green acrylic paint, solid, not watered down. Just solid dark green paint with lime green paint and color pencil over the top to make it look kind of like a folk arty grass, you know, just some, you know, just some folk arty like lines on there. But that you can go in here in the background with just a solid acrylic paint, not a wash, but a solid acrylic paint. But I would recommend, if you do that, to make sure whatever dark color, you know, black, of course, dark blue, no big deal. But if you're going to use an odd shade of, say, green, make sure you have a color pencil that's so close to that color that you can get in there in those little points. Unless you really want to get in there with a tiny, tiny brush in those tiny, tiny areas like that, which I don't really care to get in there with the brush, then you want a color pencil that's close to this color so that you can't tell the difference between your paint and your color pencil. Does that make sense? So in other words, all these bigger areas are just solid dark green, but some of those tiny little areas are the green color pencil. That is this dark green, you know, it's almost the exact shade of green to get in some of those tiny little areas. So none of these snakes have been colored with color pencil yet, except that one little scaly area right there. Everything else is at this stage still just the wash. other than the background, which is just solid dark green. Again, you can go in there with a tiny brush if you want to. You know, if you like painting, get in there with a tiny little brush and paint. Just depends on what you feel like doing. Again, this is all solid. This is all solid black paint. Okay, you can go in there with a color pencil and do this if you want. It'll just take a lot of coats. To me, it's just quicker. Not that I really want it to be fast, but I want it to be flat. I want it to be consistently flat. And then I might go in here. In this case, sometimes I do dots for stars or splatter. I might do little, whether I do it with, let's try, because this is my new gel pens. I haven't tried these on here yet. But I might want to do little stars, like these kind of stars, like something like this, instead of dots, just to mix it up, just to have something different. So you can go in there with a gel pen or acrylic paint, whatever. But I think I'm going to do, in this case, I'll probably do, you know, some gel pen. And there's all kinds of gel pens out there. I haven't done a lot of coloring with gel pens in these tiny areas, but I got quite a few different kinds. And, you know, you got the starburst and the moonshine and the moon glow, something like that. And there's all kinds of glitter ones. You could get in here with all kinds of different gel pens because they're tiny. You can get a lot of good detail with gel pens. That's another thing to do. You know? But, you know, now your gel pens are not going to go over color pencil. I don't recommend trying to do that. You'll probably be frustrating yourself to no end. Trying to go over waxy color pencil with a gel pen, probably not going to happen. But this is on acrylic paint. So I can kind of get in here with some stars. I just kind of this little rabbit trail, or in this case a flamingo trail. Sorry, Eileen. It's just a black page. So you see? So yeah, some of these tiny little areas, if you like doing little tiny details with pens, use pens. You know, there's no wrong way to do it, except I wouldn't recommend trying to do color pencil on anything wet. That's the wrong thing to do, because I'm telling you, you'll dig right through it. All right, let me find my squid. Here we go. Okay. Sip of coffee. All right. So I might, like, if I was just doing this by myself, nobody here, and just enjoying the process, again, you want to put something in between if you're going to go off the edges with paint. You know, I could probably not worry really about any paint going in over, but you don't want to glue this page to this page right on the edge. It's just better to have something if you're going to go off the edge. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that next, just to kind of, let me get another palette here. Just to kind of show you, you know, doing some black background. I won't do the whole thing because I want to get into some of the coloring. I want to color a little bit on here, and I want to color a little bit in the Doodlers Anonymous while we have time. I don't know. This might end up being another part, but I'm losing my voice. Okay, so let's see. Let me get a smaller brush here. I'll get a couple small ones here. Just a couple sizes. Flat or an angle and a round, or just whatever. All right, so for instance, now this is not watered down. My black acrylic paint, no water, just solid black. Again, you could do this with dark blue. You could do it with whatever color background you want. I'm going to make this kind of like underwater, so I'm going to do it black, but you could do it dark blue or whatever, anything. Okay, so if you're going to go off the edge, again, I recommend having something under there. And you don't have to hurry this. I can just, I can do a little faster, but don't feel like you have to go fast, and you don't have to use this wide of a brush. I'm just going to go in here and get the big areas. Okay, I'm going to get the large areas, and I'll go back with a smaller brush and get some of the small ones. Or if it's real tiny little area, I'll go in there with a color pencil. Do anybody have any questions? I hope I'm explaining everything okay, and trying to cover everything that anybody might have a question about, because I do get a lot of questions, and I do answer. I find that people are asking questions I've answered, but they're usually in the middle of a stream, like random answer to questions. So unless you're watching the whole thing, you're not going to hear it. And most people do not watch 3 hours of YouTube recordings at one time. We all sit here all day because we're all talking to each other. So we have like 68 people. So we're all talking to each other. So it's not like you're sitting there watching a recording unless you're working and doing something, which I do like to do. I like to watch recordings that are long. That's just me. But not everybody does, and so you have to watch it in segments unless you're working on something and you just want the company in the background. So I'm just kind of getting the big areas. See, I'm not even getting right up next to the cat or anything. I just want to kind of get some of the big areas with as big a brush as I can, and then I'll go in there. And this also helps you find the areas that you want to paint black or whatever color. It could be, like I said, blue or any other color. Oh, okay. Bye, Ella. Did you put your link in there for Ustream? All right, so I don't have a lot of areas that are really very big for this size brush. Then again, I do like be able to paint down in the crevice. All right, let me put a piece of paper over here. So I'm going to get in here in a minute, and I will start doing a little coloring. Kind of just getting all the edges so you can kind of see. But there's really nothing special to it. It really isn't, guys. It's just taking your time and enjoying it. Okay, good. Yeah, that's what I do when I watch recordings. I'm always working in here. I don't have a TV in here. I just watch YouTubes and Ustreams while I'm working. Or sometimes I just want it quiet. All right. So I think with this size brush, I think that's about all I'm going to do with that. So now, let's see. This one's a little fuzzy. Let me get another one on this one. All right. Just going to get a little pointier one so I can kind of get in here. And again, it's probably pretty tricky to see. This is the thing about trying to do something this small. I mean, I can try to zoom in a little, but then you won't see the big picture either because I'm all over the page. So if y'all have any questions, just ask. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep working here a little bit. Try to get a little bit of a section going so I can start shading in like the big area here so you can see that. So, but using the acrylic paint like this as a background for these big pages like this with the wash, this is really the only book that I really do this in. Because most of the books don't have these big areas that you have to fill a background in. Some others probably do, but I just haven't really come across them. I just like, if I want to solid something, you know, it's just easy enough to do it without acrylic paint. You know, except for these big areas like this. This book has lots of big, you know, flat areas. But, you know, I don't really have any hard, fast rules. I'll just do whatever I think is going to work. But I just take my time and paint out all this background. Now, if it gets real tiny little areas that I just don't want to fussy paint, then, you know, you can get in there with a pencil. File folder fodder is what FFF is, Deb. We've been doing a 12-week file folder fodder project, and we just did week 9 this morning. So if you want to see, go back to week 1 and check that out. And Packer Dye has been doing the decorating, and I've been showing the things to save, to collect. All right, so I'm just going to do this one little section here, just so you can kind of see something kind of done. And again, this, you know, it won't, acrylic paint's not going to go through your page unless you just sop it wet. And then that's going to be the water that goes through, you know, more so than the paint. But this is just black acrylic paint, no water. For the background. But you can go, let's just say, when you get done painting, you see some areas that don't look flat black enough for you. Well, you can go in there with your color pencil, black pencil, and, you know, get in there with some of those tiny areas. Because this does take time, and if you're not really proficient with the brush, you might frustrate yourself. So you might just want to do the whole thing with black pencil. But to get it this flat black and matte like this, it'll take probably 2 pencils. Take 2 pencils to get it done that flat. So can y'all see? And his eye, I want that nice and black. So I could either go over it like this with the paint or, you know, pencil. But, you know, I'm trying to tell you the process I'm using at the moment with, you know, each color book. I do stuff a little different depending on the paper. But, you know, I mean, I'm not saying that I'll never not do a wash in here, or that I'll never do a wash in another color book or anything like that, you know. I don't mean to sound like this is a hard, fast rule, and I do it exactly like this every single time without any variation. So if you see me doing something different, don't say, oh, well, I thought you said, you know, do it. Because I might mix it up on the next time. I'm just showing you right now how I'm doing my Anamorphia book, because it works for me to do washes on these big animals. So don't email me. You're looking for a thumbs up. Sarah, you're so cute. Yeah, well, when it's uploaded to YouTube, go give me a thumbs up, Sarah. Sarah's saying she's looking for a thumbs up on Ustream. There is no thumbs up on these live shows. Well, I don't think there's not even a like button on the recording show. But you can follow me here. If you do follow me on Ustream, or any of us that stream, and you allow email notifications when we go live. You should, not always. Sometimes it's late, and I think a lot of it depends on your browser. You should get a notification. So what's nice about that is, like, if we do impromptu streams, you'll get notification when we hit broadcast. And of course, all of us tweet each other as well, so we all know when we're all going on. You can send care packages, yeah. Oh, okay, so I'm going to stop right here on the black. Well, no, you know what? Let me go ahead and do the top up here, because I want to work on the squid. So I'm going to go ahead and do this like right along his top of his body here. But it does help you, you know, practice your color pencil blending when you start coloring. Whether it's this book or any, you know, it's just good practice. And again, if y'all need any commissions done, you can see my work in Facebook. I think pretty much all my artwork is public. So if you like the style I do of pet portraits and people portraits, let me know and get with me. I mean, I need, like, just because of time, I need, you know, don't tell me you have a birthday present you need next, like, 3 days. You know, I like to have a couple of weeks, a month is better, depending on how many I'm working on at that time. If I got 3 back to back, you know, you're going to have to wait a month. But, and I don't show, I'm really, like,